Podcasting live from parts unknown from Speakeasy Studios, it's Tales from a Dive Bar. And of course, it's JD, Alan, and Raven joining me, and we have a special guest today, David Vancil. He's the author of Martyr of the American Night, Anthology of an American Male. Wait, did I say of an average American male? I've read a little bit of the intro to the book. It sounds great, but more importantly, you are former car salesman, former hypnotherapist. Do you still do that, by the way?
That's right. No, I don't currently practice right now. No.
Oh well, we're gonna try to get you to. We're gonna try to get you out of retirement by the end of the podcast.
We're gonna hypnotherapize me.
And it wouldn't be a tale from a dive bar if we didn't have a bartender. David has been around the world from New York to Hawaii and everything in between. So I really look forward to seeing exactly what we're gonna dive into with you in this one. And
pour us shots.
Yeah, and with that, let's get some drinks going.
Yeah.
But no, I love that our bartender is pouring the drinks for everyone. It's just the guest has come in and said, "I'll take care of this. I got this down. I know how to do it."
He knows what he's doing.
You're a professional.
He's just handing out Crown Royal shots. That's nothing. You make real drinks.
All right, let me grab one of those too.
Can we say where you work?
Double. Now I know I'm in trouble. Thank goodness we're off tomorrow.
It doesn't matter.
Should we
I work at a corporate environment right now, which is very different from most of the bars.
So we
I've
probably
worked in
won't
the
say
past.
exactly where you work.
No, you
It's
don't
a
have
place
to.
that has a lot of wine, very drunk women all the time, and lots of good
Well,
times.
I will say you were working at that tequila place before, and I saw some of the stuff you'd post on Facebook and like the palomas and shit.
We
and
try
I'm
to
like,
take pride in
I
what
would
we
have
do.
sex with those.
that might get messy.
So what
Just a
are
little
some
bit.
of the more fun, exotic, or memorable places that you've bartended at, besides smells?
Besides the speakeasy. By the way, cheers.
Well, cheers, by the way, yeah.
Oh,
cheers
yeah,
to you
cheers.
guys. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
It's great to be a guest here tonight.
Woo. Cheers.
Richie's on the couch and he just lifted his arm and went back to bed. He lifted his self.
I started bartending in Hawaii. You know, that was kind of eventful. It was a special place. I wasn't really interested in bartending to begin with. I didn't really drink much, you know, just more of a social drinker. But, you know, once you start, it's a whole lifestyle.
So you went to the University of Hawaii of
I did.
Manoa?
Yeah. I went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and it was a very beautiful, special place. It still is. Hawaii is very magical. And then I just happened to walk into a bar right when they fired one of the bartenders, and they asked me if I wanted to bartend. So I was like, well, let me think about that.
What did you go there for, though?
I went for art, photography. At that time, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, so I just was taking a ton of art classes. Right now, I'm going to the University of Illinois, Chicago, and I'm trying to get my bachelor's in fine arts.
All right,
Another
let's
reason
clear the
we
air.
had him on here tonight because we want to promote his art that's going to be in downtown Lisle.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it is there right now at the
Oh, yeah, I said it's going to be. It is there already.
In Lisle, yeah.
Shit.
So there's a show that goes for the next 3 months. I'd love it if you guys came and stopped
So
and
you
seen
have
it.
a little
So.
gallery.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's cool.
Very cool stuff.
as
I
hell.
actually did walk over there the other day and take a look at some of that shit, and it's like the stuff at the bank and everything. It's cool, man.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. It's all real film, black and white, blown up big. A lot of Chicago images, you know, so it's inner city, and then it's also Japan. So when I was in college, I've been to a few colleges.
Yeah, can we talk about that right now? Because I was about to mention that. So in this Amazon book description you got going on right now, it says you've been to blah, 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 and countless more.
Yeah.
So, and you just spoke about going to another place. So tell me about your college experience and what did you go to each college for?
I tried to focus on art, but for a little while I was into Asian studies. Just happened to have a Japanese roommate, and she really inspired me. So I ended up going to International Christian University in Tokyo, which is an amazing, beautiful school. I would definitely recommend. I just happened to have this really cool Japanese teacher, and she said, "You know what? If you really want to learn, you should go there." And I was like, "Oh, that'd be great, but that's for rich people." And I was like, "She's like,
not
well,
cheap.
Yeah, how do you
Why
pay
is
for
it?
it? It's
Yeah,
easy to
that's
say, hey, go to a University of Columbia, Chicago, liberal arts college, and just spend 30 grand.
I feel like
for the
every
next 6 months of
every
your
art
life.
school I feel like is expensive. It's not
Oh,
a
yeah.
very
Well,
cheap.
Every
Yeah.
school is expensive.
Well, yeah, but I feel like art
Mm.
schools is
Stupid.
very.
But even
expensive.
then, you paid cash the whole time. I mean, that's huge. That's very unique to be able to do that.
So she actually had a friend that was one of the teachers at the at International Christian University, and then she called her, got me part of the summer study abroad program, which was only a month long, almost 2 months, and then I just happened to have like $3,000 in the bank. And so it paid for the school, and I would have $1,000 to spend in like 2 months. And I was like, oh, well, to hell with it. I'll try. And I did it.
You just kept going.
And it made
penny
sense.
Pinch on the beer, but
at any point, did you say, like,
for it.
this is a bad idea? Or, like, was there anything that ever tried to stop you in between that where you were like, you had your own reservations?
Well, the funny thing is I worked for the Sheraton at the time. I think it's fine to say that I don't work there anymore. But I had given some aloha. Some friends had come in, and they had, this is my brother's girlfriend, and they had been breaking down the buffet, this beautiful seafood buffet, and I just got them a couple plates, but I ended up getting fired for it. And then so a week before I'm about to go on this study abroad, I got no job. And I only got so much money in the bank. And so I just hunkered down, and I was like, well, fuck it. Just don't go out, focus, and then go do it. And I did. And then I came back, had no job. I had like less than $100 to my name, but I found a job right away. Just kept figuring it'll work out.
How did this hypnotherapy shit start?
Can we talk about that?
And then,
please?
We said, he might hypnotize me.
What would you hypnotize Alan for,
3,
by
2,
the way?
1. No, you're fine.
All of a sudden, we all just close our eyes.
You're feeling very calm.
Yeah.
We're sitting next to this fire.
It's been a long time coming, but that's what I needed.
Though.
You can
What
bring
would
your
you
awareness to your
hypnotize
breath.
Alan for? I know that's not how it works, but
No,
I can think of like 6 things he could one of them is me not being able to fucking talk into the microphone properly. No, how did that start though? Like,
hypnosis is a very natural thing. We all go through it throughout the day. 30 minutes before you go to bed, 30 minutes after you wake up. It feels very natural, and a lot of the time, most of the time when people do it, they don't want to come out, But you can anytime, whenever you're ready.
Richie passed out on the couch over there. He's pretty much a contender to where he's near Twilight, maybe the REM.
He's not in REM yet because he's still.
But can you talk about the type of hypnotherapy that you do?
Yeah, what would people ask you to
Is it
stop
about
them from doing?
Ericksonian or like neuro-linguistic or ingression?
Neuro-linguistic programming you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's a very interesting stuff that has more to do with syntax and the words we use and the power they have. But, long story short, like what you're saying, being able to pronunciate or do whatever or improve your life, those are things I was thinking about when I bought this book for $3 from a thrift store about self-hypnosis. And all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So I started reading the book, and I was going under while I was reading the book. So I was like, wow, this isn't mojo.
You just get entranced from the words.
You sure were, yeah. So, and it was all these inductions that this book, it was written in the 20s. And so I thought to myself, man, how powerful is this?
Is that a part of neuro-linguistic therapy? Because, like, I can see it if you're using certain syntax, certain semantics, like, you can, like, just feel a certain different type of way.
Well, I like that you said feelings, because words are powerful and they can generate certain feelings or images in people's minds. But syntax and the words we use, when we're talking about hypnosis, it is a separate thing. But yes, of course, the words we use are very important in hypnosis. Hypnosis is a very natural thing, basically because we go in and out of it. Like when you watch a movie and then you're so encapsulated by the movie and then the movie ends and you're like, whoa. Where was I for 20 minutes, Or when I'm driving home the same way every single day, and then all of a sudden that one day you forget to turn off, because the sound of the road was going dun 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 dun. But basically,
you start thinking, you play things in your mind that you don't even mean to. You're just, like you said.
Well, it lasts with you after the movie. You
something.
think about it while you're laying in bed going, oh my God, what did I just watch? Yeah. What have I just exposed my mind to that I'm thinking? It's something, it makes you think differently.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of hypnosis is the fact that you bring yourself to such a state to where you can turn off to where then you can turn on other realms of your brain, I guess. I mean, it
just happened to me the other day.
Maybe you just hypnized us with your lecture.
Well, it's your unconscious mind,
I was
on
a delivery the other day, and I was working, and I was going somewhere that I know exactly where it is, And I don't even remember what I was thinking about, but I was thinking about something, and I was thinking about it hard. And then finally, I was just like, "Where the fuck am I going?" Like I'm like 8 streets past where I'm going, and that's just me being an idiot. But I was like, it coincides with what you're saying. I was just in that train of thought. It's almost like I was hypnotized by whatever the fuck I was thinking about, and
I think it's beautiful that we came to this point because that is all about what Erickson hypnotherapy is.
Ericksonian, yes.
Yeah, Ericksonian. Like, he believed that trances happen every day to varying degrees. So, like, you know, when the mind wanderings during a commute to work, during meetings, daydreaming in general, like that, it's just daydreaming, but it's purposeful daydreaming.
Purposeful daydreaming is
great.
It is. Yeah. When we use it for creativity, amazing. You know, when we use it for negativity, when we daydream and think about things that we're fearful, it works both ways, you know. But we have to talk a little bit about what hypnosis is. We use our imagination for 2 different ways, for either creative or destructive qualities. And then we have to talk a little bit about what hypnosis is. It is just an overload of message units that tricks your fight mechanism and creates a direct access to your subconscious mind. So the power that we really want to do is use this trance to better ourselves, to better society, to build ourselves up.
It's better to stare at a book than stare at a Pornhub screen, is what you're saying, I guess.
Yeah.
You can multitask. Believe me. I know.
I didn't mean to derail the train.
Or both. You derailed me. Now I'm thinking about my life.
Well, I'll tell you what. So that was all fantastic, but let's give them all what they want to hear. Dave, when did you suck at drinking? That's our segment.
When did you?
You know what? I'm gonna preface this by this. I'm gonna preface this. So first of all, Dave and I know each other through a mutual friend. And the night that we met, this is so funny. We were talking about how he's just all smart and everything like that.
Whatever.
That's all his shit.
I'm a work in progress like everybody
I was
else.
just saying that the night that we met, we went to a titty bar after a dive bar. And I got to tell you something, man. That was one of the fucking most fun nights I've ever had in my life.
Was that a titty bar? I thought that was a fine establishment with young, educated women that were going to colleges who needed for us to contribute to their education.
We will call it a titty bar.
Yeah, they just had their shirts off. And then a few other things. But yes, that was wonderful. That was one hell of a night.
We didn't really pay too much attention. And then you and I just drank the whole night.
We had some guy come out of nowhere with a big SUV and say, "Hey, you guys want to go out tonight?" And we're like, "Awesome. Where do you want to go?"
That sounds like stranger danger.
No. We know who the guy is. We're just not going to, for legal reasons, say who he is.
He told us it was a place called the Gold Room. And I was like, well, I've never heard of the Gold Room.
Gold Club. I have. Oh, no, it is the Gold Room. I actually have. Hold on. Look at this.
Now we're sending a little plug.
Are we talking about the show club, the Gold Room?
Yeah. No, I said the
yes, ma'am.
But it is.
That's a very fine establishment.
My ex-girlfriend works there.
Oh my Jesus! The plot gets thick.
Look at this. I got the guy.
He's got the gold card right over there. He's got the VIP right there.
You probably met my ex-girlfriend.
It's got like initials on it or something. It's got the stamps like when you jump on the train. They just for every time you show up.
I think it's a good point that, you know what, no matter what we do in life to better ourselves, we all need to take time to relax and enjoy.
We went there, and the guy that we were with, something happened with his bank account. Do you remember exactly how this went? But he had...
The strippers robbed him?
No. I think his wife, was able to see his bank account or something. So he tried to do something. I don't remember exactly how it went because I was fucked up. But he comes up to me and Dave and our other friend and opens like a stack of just Gold Room 20s.
I've never seen special money. It was
VIP. Strip club money, and he was just like, "Go have fun, guys." And we were like, "This is the craziest shit ever."
All right, so David, let's talk about your book. What inspired you to write Murder of the American Night, Anthology of an Average American Male? Like, what is this all about?
What a fucking title that is. I love it.
It is a very hefty title. Like, I'm not going to lie, from a female perspective, I feel like it's...
Was it intimidating?
No. I feel like it's intriguing, yet I feel like I want to spit on you.
Yeah. Well, that could be fun, too. But one of my favorite authors is Jack Kerouac. I don't know if you know him, but he wrote a book called On the Road. Yeah, he's one of my favorite writers. I love his creativity.
We're kind of
like,
tiptoeing into Rabin's corner right now.
Oh,
'cause
I
that's
know.
what we do is talk about
Yeah, so
books.
his best friend was Neil Cassidy in real life, and then he described him as the martyr of the American Night. So did that inspire it? It sure did. And so, and then I have a book coming out in a couple months. It's called Stories from the Underground, and that's inspired by Notes from the Underground by Dostoevsky, I think his name is. I always mispronounce his. He's one of my favorite Russian authors. But yeah, so I read a lot. And, so I hope that I could take even just a granulate of salt from any of their loveliness, all their great writing.
Like you channel that inner author of your own and it just spills out on paper. Now, how does that go when you're writing a book? Like what's kind of, do you have like a routine or a certain meditative practice you get into, or
Yes,
does it just come
I want
to you?
to answer that question truly because I love your Amazon description where it says, with barely a grade schooler's command over the English language, he has somehow traveled through.
Do you write that too? Was that you that came up with that?
Yeah, you speak third person, you have to write your bio. I've written a few bios before, but it's true. Honestly, my best friend, Dave Haidar, you got to give out props for him. He always teases me. He's like, man, I don't know how you wrote a book. You can't even spell. And yeah, but thank God for, computers to help us get our words down.
Well, yeah,
Microsoft Word's
unfortunately.
been helping me since fucking, I don't remember.
There's so much more now. There's Grammarly.
So,
there's
growing up,
AI.
did you have that issue where you always were having spelling problems or anything like that, or was there any kind of like?
Man, I have this weird mind. Like if you sat down at my bar and you ordered a drink, I might not remember your name, but I will remember your name. I will remember
Exactly
the drink
what he
that
drinks.
you ordered 10 years later. Like when I was living in Hawaii, like people would come a year later, and I'd be like, Mai Tai. And they'd be like, how did you remember?
You probably
most people
remember
drink
the
Mai Tais out there.
nuances.
That's
ju-
probably
The
I
why.
nuances, the
something.
persona, the electricity from them, the magnetism. You probably do.
I remember
Like,
their
that's how it
image like a
goes.
snapshot, like a picture.
I
Because
do
I
the
remember
same
this-
shit sometimes, man.
Yeah.
I do that. I'll see people and I'll be like, same thing. I know what they drink. I know this. I know that about them. I know they did that. I know that. I'll know their fucking wife's name. And I'll be like, and I'll have
That's
to
awesome.
tap somebody. What the fuck is that dude's
It
name?
makes them feel good when you sit down and they
Yeah.
sit down at the bar. You remember what they drink. You remember their wife's
I guess
name.
that's the only reason me and fucking Ellen are friends.
Well, I remember your fucking
I
name,
know,
but-
exactly. Yeah.
You know what though? The same thing works for me when I DJ'd. I'd remember people's songs, and you just, oh yeah, I remember from last week.
How
Let's-
good does that make them feel?
Oh, melted them. And sometimes it was just the fact that they didn't even come up to you or ask you. You just played it at the right time. And I think a drink is like that too
Oh,
at
yeah.
a certain point. And with that, let's do another shot.
Ooh.
We're like about halfway through, so let's have some fun for a minute. And we'll let David, whoever wants to pour it. I don't know. I'll pour it. I'll pour it. You
Yeah,
guys keep
Jay,
continue. You
guys
guys
are
continue.
the standing ones. I'm not gonna let you guys this is I'm gonna let you know right now. Once you sit in this couch, you are fucked.
You can't. Yeah, it's comfy.
Fucked.
At least the dog shut up.
Oh yeah. Well, I have him on a leash and he's very tired because he had a doggy visitor
The
today.
dog shut up. Richie is finally in REM.
Yeah, we can hypnotize them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hypnotize Ricky.
Well, I
I want
appreciate
you
you
to
guys doing this
hypnotize
so I could talk
me.
about my last
Keep
book
calling
and the
him
next
Ricky.
one coming out. So that's big to me because this has been an accomplishment. It's been a work, Some
give
of
me a
these
hand.
stories they've been like 10 years in the making.
What's the title?
The next one
Yeah.
is Stories from the Underground.
A story.
It feels like it's almost Tales from the Dive Bar.
I was
This
just about to
correlates
say,
into
that's
this.
very-
I wish we would have met a year earlier while you
know.
were writing
We
this,
could
so
have
then
been
we could have
doing
had
this together.
maybe a little intricate moment with us somehow sporadically enticing your writing fancy.
Cheers.
How many times have you had an amazing night out at the bar? I mean, we all wake up some night and you're like, damn it, look at all these receipts in my pocket. I
Yeah.
spent all this. I shouldn't have done that. But how many nights have you woken up and been like, damn, somebody picked me up in an Escalade and we went to a strip bar or some crazy shit like that? Or you met an amazing new friend or something magical.
There's a lot of them, but
or
there's
you just
also
sit
a
there
lot
and
of
you go,
nights that are just like,
I don't
why
wanna
the fuck
I don't
am
want
I
to
here?
forget details from that night because
the
it was
good
so much
time.
fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to forget people's names.
I think that you have a handful of those.
We have a few.
Maybe a more handful, but there's a lot of times
They're
you're
all in
just
the
like,
book.
God damn it! Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that you put them in writing.
I
So
put
I
him down.
think that's what we're trying to do with this is just have people on,
yeah.
anybody to tell stories.
Since I'm
like
too
this.
lazy
was the
to
whole.
write a novel, I decided to do this podcast.
That's great. You guys are passionate about radio, it seems, and like sound and music and getting people together and drinking.
I just hate the
That's
sound
great.
of my voice, so I like hearing it.
I
So
like
can hate
it.
myself more.
I don't know. I like all your voices.
You'd
I
be
love mine
yeah,
too.
you'd be surprised how many people feel like that. But you got a great
It's
voice.
going to be like that because you're getting used to the process. There's certain things that you'll do and you'll go, oh, that sounded bad. And there's other things you do and you go, that was really good, actually. I need to give myself more confidence in what I'm doing. And yeah, definitely ignore what you think your voice sounds like. Just keep going and you'll be fine. You could make it all radio like this if you want, and you could talk like this on a podcast the whole time. But it's not going to really be that entertaining unless you have something fun to say. It's just
Jason, you're
generic.
getting really good at that voice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's almost like a
It's
professional.
Doing all
Oh,
that.
it's like I've done
It's
this a couple times.
It's almost like he's done this before.
But no, that's what I love about doing it is that I get to see everyone evolving with it. I get to see to where Alan's bringing people together to where we're doing this. I mean, that's part of it. That's
Oh, yeah.
when
Your community.
when I just started in news, I was in a news radio station. They were just desperate to get anything and anyone. And I'm like, hey, I got a guy I'm emailing or I got somebody I can talk to. That was perfect. And when it became something to where all of a sudden, oh, they're related to this famous R&B person or Motown, they loved it. It was something to where you can find a connection with simple people, simple, regular people. I'm done with my rant, though, so let's move on.
I want to
David,
talk
That's
about
great.
something. And we're not going to use names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Here we go.
All right, let's get some people in trouble.
I'm scared.
I want to talk about the other day when you were at the bar, Jason.
Oh,
And
what
that
other day?
Motherfucker.
So I have a you
fell.
suck at drinking story.
Oh, that day.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Oh
And you've
my
probably seen
God.
this.
No, I did.
Somebody-
I showed.
Is it
No,
on the
I
internet
showed.
someplace?
I showed you the video the other night. We can't.
Oh,
Eventually,
Oh, was that
after
him
the
who fell
statute of
over on the stool?
limitations, yeah,
No, was that you?
no,
No,
I didn't fall
Chase-
on the stool.
No, that was
Jason.
somebody
Jason was the one that said it was the most delayed fall you've ever seen. I want to say it lasted 10.5 minutes.
yeah,
From
it
the
was
video.
like
Like 10 and a half.
delayed,
It was
fucking
and-
weird fall.
but the
yeah.
greatest part was Jason's reaction to it. He just like
He's
turned
like,
and
"Eat my
watched it, and he
business,
went.
though."
Oh, that was you looking
Yeah,
at
he
the.
went,
You're
"That's
like,
the-"
oh man, guy fell.
He was like, "That's some crazy shit."
As
and
he
then
was
just-
falling, his pants were falling down,
Oh.
and then when he hit the ground, everything was just there. And I'm like, "There's no way I'm picking that guy up or doing anything."
Well, not even when he fell. You just looked and you're like, "That's some fucking wild shit," and then just went and sipped his beer. Like he didn't.
Well, so
He
the whole
turned
preface of
around.
the story is that the bar had the video cameras on, and they saw the whole thing. So we have to talk about how
No,
big.
we won't tell
Big
what
Brother,
bar it
'cause
is
I'm
or where it
watching
was, though,
1984
'cause we
book
have
right
to-
here on the bookcase.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Brother's
Actually,
always
yeah,
watching
okay.
now. It was different when I started bartending too. Like you didn't see all the shit that was happening in the bar, and there was so much less regulations. You lost your beer? Speaking of drinking. How did you lose your beer on the couch? There you go. Just drink right from the bottle.
Anyway, I walked in. I walked into that bar, right, and he was already pinned up against the bar and had fallen off a stool, and he's reaching out to me like, "Arr."
This guy had definitely been day drinking.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's how he walked in, and like he tried to reach for my hand, and I just did a knuckle bump, like go, yeah, go
You got
you.
up, buddy. Good job.
And then I walked to the other side or the middle of the bar, and that's where you guys saw the video where I was sitting there just drinking, relaxing, trying to avoid everything going to the left of me. And then another patron came in, picked him up, and I didn't pick him up because I was like, I don't want him to fall and hurt himself
he
again.
got cut off the next day remotely.
oh,
the
not
bar,
that,
the
not that
manager,
day?
the manager the next day cut him off remotely. Saw him
that
on the
day.
camera,
That
was like,
day
"You
you
can
let
finish
him
his
drink."
beer,"
Yeah.
but then he's got to get the fuck out of there.
But
Like,
then,
I'm not
Can
doing
gets
it.
Can we
helped up?
talk a little bit about the fact that drinking is there's such a fine line to when you sit down at the bar in that magical moment when like you have a drink and like all the stress from your work just kind of magically disappears, and then at the point where you're drinking and then it's
all of a sudden a
was-
rat song plays, and you just like, yeah.
I was next to these two people last night and they could barely walk anymore. And I
Who are you
think about
talking
how
about?
I don't know who the fuck they were. They were next to me, and they couldn't walk. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, I get really, really drunk. I don't get drunk like that. I have no idea how people just get drunk where they're just like.
Perhaps you don't remember when you get drunk like
No. Well, maybe.
Even then, if you do, you want to still go, it still wasn't that bad. I
It wasn't
dominated.
that
I threw down last
I know how
night.
to
I
walk
had a
it.
good time.
I know how to walk
We
in
can
the
point
walls.
the finger real
Exactly.
easy. I don't drink like those people.
And then they show you, they're like, dude, you were such a... Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've never
I
seen
can't
that, though.
believe
I've
it."
never seen video of me like that. I know I walk into walls and throw up at my apartment. I know that.
Can I tell a 5-second story real quick about why I got insurance when I was a hypnotherapist? It's because I had heard from the union about this story of a Christmas party where some women can have difficulties having orgasms by themselves, in particularly with intercourse where there's actually insertion.
It
So
is
this
difficult.
hypnotherapist was helping this at a Christmas party in front of all the people they were working
Telling
with.
her.
Helped her achieve an orgasm through breathing, and in deep trance. And so, of course, he got removed from the
He
union.
did that shit at a Christmas party.
At a Christmas party, yes. So she sued him. So that was the premise of why you needed insurance as a hypnotherapist.
Just because
Seems
somebody
like
might do
something
something
that would
crazy
happen if you
afterwards
did
where...
that.
Well, what did she do afterwards? Did she just felt like she was...
She sued him. She got a lawyer, and she sued him.
She just like, I'm going to get a lawyer. I'm suing him. I don't care. Just humiliating or something.
Yeah, well, I can imagine it. You go back to work the next day, and you didn't
Everyone's
plan.
like,
There was
"Whoa."
probably a little drinking involved. We got to be careful at the Christmas parties. I think that's the moral of the story.
So another thing we do here as we wrap things up, it's already been a half an hour, believe it or not. We give everyone 60 seconds with our guests. So we're going to have 60 seconds with David. Can we put you on the spot like this? Can
Put
you
me on
hand-
the spot.
All right. We'll give you the timer and all. Ready? Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. It's going.
So you want what I want people to know? Well, I have the little gallery on Main in Lisle with all my images of Chicago. Look, some cool pictures of Chicago and Japan too, like both the city and it's all portraiture. So if you could take a moment and go check it out, that would make my heart feel good. Yes.
Absolutely. We're going to definitely do that for you.
This book is on Amazon. Keep going.
And then I have another book coming out in 2 months. That's the target time. So if you guys had spend $15-20 on a book that had something to do with me, that would be amazing. Thank you.
The cool thing about it is we're going to have to follow up with you after this book is released because we're going to catch up and read the first one, and then the second one we can do that. And we're also going to put up all of the links online at talesfromadivebar.com. So there's going to be that as well.
Much gratitude, and I feel very thankful for you guys even taking the time to listen and
We
making this
appreciate you
happen.
coming on, man.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And with that, we are out. We want to thank you guys so much.
I'm going to Florida. I'm getting on a fucking plane. Goodbye.
Alan's going to Florida.
I'm going to
We
work.
will keep the journey going. So from that, we thank you guys for listening. Take care, and we'll see you soon.